full moon tarot reading for first one for 2023. We have a full moon in Leo tonight, if you're in the southern hemisphere. So I started doing a couple of these last year, the full moon moon tarot readings. Sorry, I've been a bit sick recently, so forgive me if I have a coughing fit halfway through. So we're gonna look at some cards to shuffle. I thought I'd go with this Caro Marchetti deck with Gilded Tarot. You see this tarot a fair bit, but it is, I like the sun on it, and I think that's fitting for full moon in Leo. So what I usually do is I do a card spread, and then I give the opportunity for people for me to pick a card for them. Sorry. And you can either just comment or message me, and I'll pick a card for you until I don't feel like doing it anymore. But anyway, I like to say a little bit about the full moon in Leo. And I got an email, I get the email regularly, this is from Astro Butterfly, and I really like their descriptions. So yeah, get onto their emails. That's probably a good way to keep a track of what's going on for the full moon, because there's lots of astrological reports out there, but I find this one to be very comprehensive. So let's have a little read of what it says. It says on February 5th, or 6th today, we have a full moon at 16 degrees in Leo. It's exactly square Uranus and Taurus, and something's got to give. The full moon is a celestial act of balancing two opposing forces. The full moon in Leo comes to illuminate the archetype of the opposite sign Aquarius and find the creative synthesis between the two. So it goes on. I'll just pick out what I read that I found was the most important thing when they mention synthesis. So they're saying full moon in Leo, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. A good analogy is people often explain how full moons work is a German theory of change called thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. According to this theory, everything in life has a starting point, the initial condition, the thesis, the opposing force, the antithesis. The six zodiac axes are great examples of these thesis and antithesis dynamic. One sign is the axis always the antithesis of the other sign. For example, Aries is Libra's antithesis, and Libra is Aries' antithesis, and so on. And then we have the synthesis, which is the sum of the two, but not limited to that. The thesis is challenged by the antithesis. Something greater emerges. Something that wouldn't have been possible if we hadn't had the opposing tension between the thesis and antithesis. So Leo versus Aquarius, this is what they're getting at. Aquarius is our thesis, so this is what the sun is in right now. It's the group, social trends, objective experience, and the head, the mind. Leo is opposite of Aquarius and becomes the individual versus the group, creativity versus trends, subjective experience versus objective experience, and heart versus head. After we understand that both the thesis and the antithesis, we can get to the synthesis. The group versus the individual. The group cannot exist without individuals. A group where no one takes the lead, no one steps in, no one has something to share becomes stale. Goes on to further explain into the other ones, but I think the main one that always stands out for me in the head versus the heart, we need to get back to the heart. So if you're embodying the full moon in Leo, so the answer is not what you think, which is Aquarius, or even what you feel, which is Leo. The answer is what you actually do, which is the Uranus and Taurus coming into this aspect, which I mentioned in the beginning. So yeah, all these things, all these fixed signs in the zodiac causing to be amplified at this full moon in Leo. Hope you like that little reading. There's a lot more to it, but I think that's kind of the main points of the full moon in Leo energy, and like that thesis and antithesis and the synthesis all comes together with each full moon illumination opposite as their sun sign. And I think that now I'm going to do the tarot spread, so I'll give the cards a bit of a shuffle. Hope for everyone as well, this full moon. Okay. You alright, Jasper? My dog Jasper is pacing around unrelentingly. Go sit down. Alrighty. Let's do this spread. Well, go. It's a major arcana in this one. So, the first card that I've got down is the position of manifested since the new moon. And I have the Hanged Man. Yeah, so it's come around since the new moon. The sacrifices that have had to be made. There's also this year started in a retrograde. Isn't that great? So it felt a little bit stop-start in January, I feel, and that's the energy of that Hanged Man. It's that wanting to forge forward but needing to stay still and still contemplate things and still stop and prepare and think before we go to the next point. I think we will release from that around the new moon. Well, that's still that post shadow retrograde energy causing us to, make careful plans for our future. So what's being illuminated right now? I got the Justice card. What's being illuminated right now? Following on from that, like the patience in planning and stopping and assessing. You've got the Justice card, so it's like now you're weighing up those options as well. So you've got all those plans to consider, now knowing what you're putting your time, your energy, your efforts into. It's especially important for this full moon in Leo. It's interesting in this card, you've got a little sun down the bottom there, so I think kind of stands out in this reading. How you're using your energy to do those things as well. Furthermore, from those balancing of opposites of the Leo Aquarius energy as well, the Justice card, it's factoring in all those aspects of the individual versus the group, like your family and your community against what your personal needs are as well. Okay, what can be released? So this is actually a good card to be like, what can be released right now? And I got the Seven of Swords. So, he's all about that, not handling things the best way, or running away from problems, or not being honest with ourselves or others, or, taking unfair advantage. So I think that's definitely a sign to, within this time of slow starts and planning and assessment, we can learn the right path to take. We can know what the wrong path is as well, and choose it, but the outcome's probably not going to be what we want. So, if you're trying to still sit through some of that decision making, know what the right path is for yourself and for everyone else. Emerging opportunity. We got the Ace of Cups. It's a lovely card. That love beginning, a new love beginning. And when we think about that Leo energy of that full moon, it is about knowing your heart and knowing how to fill up your own cup as well. So, being open to love and fulfillment. And I think that love's always a good way. If we're not quite sure what path we need to take, our heart usually knows. If our head's not sure, our heart's usually sure. And so we get a message from the universe as the last card is the Chariot. I think that's a really Aquarius energy. with following your head, knowing where you're headed. So all this stop start at the beginning of the year, and slowing down and having to slowly assess things, and making a good, fair, and like sound judgment in our future will then propel us forward for the rest of the year. With that, like, got 2 sphinxes in this as well, and I had a full moon circle with my Coven Spheres of Light on Friday night just passed, and they talked a bit about the Sphinx, and about that being the energy of like Leo and the energy of Sekhmet in my paintings I'm working on here. It's the mysteries of the Sphinx within this card. So yeah, we might not have all the answers all the time, and that's fine. But it's about moving forward with enough information and following our heart when we do so. The last card I've got is a message to myself. This one's called the Self card, so I'll do one for myself, and then if you'd like one for yourself, you just let me know and I'll give you a card. So I got the World. The World is about completion. It's about the Fool has taken its journey through the tarot, through the major arcana, and has come to the conclusion of the world. It's a card of finality. It's also the universe in its entirety. It's all the culmination of all things until the end, and then the beginning again to the next journey. So it's like, coming. It's like the Fool takes the hero's journey and ends up kind of back in a new opportunity for adventure again. The World card, for me, I guess, I'm not sure. I'm still on that one for a while. Sometimes I can say things about cards, the cows come home, and other times, like, not sure in this moment. I have to think about it. Anyway, thank you for listening, and let me know if you'd like a card for yourself, and I will be back next month, hopefully. Bye.